Hello, Fabienne, and welcome to The Brief.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
Very excited to have you here. You are very inspiring, and you're
Mhm.
a mentor for solo business owners who are trying to make the greatest impact they can while creating certainty in business and financial security. That is a lot.
Tall order. I've been lucky enough to help tens of thousands of women make their own money and lots of it. It's serious business. When women have financial security, they have a voice and a choice. And it's not just about growing their business. It's about changing how confident and powerful a woman can be in her own life and where she takes up more room.
And you have personal experience in that too. You're a very successful businesswoman. Tell us a little bit about how that came to be and where you're at now. And
21 years ago, I left corporate. I was working in advertising and I opened up my own nutrition practice and I did not fill it to full capacity right away. I was having these dark nights of the soul. I don't know what to do to get clients. Long story short, I created my own client attraction system for myself because I had become unemployable and there was no way I was going back to working for somebody else where it felt like a soul-sucking existence for me. I took my business after a while to six figures, but then I encountered a new set of problems at 100K a year. Is that I was doing everything one-to-one, the old model. I was at full capacity and there was no more of me and no more time to grow. And I pushed up against this interesting glass ceiling of I can't see how I'm going to get out of this. And I ended up leveraging my business with all of the elements that are in the leveraged business book that I wrote over the last 8 years to help women get out of overwhelm and create a multiple 6 or 7 figure business that they love. And I have been, just for context, to show that I know what I'm talking about, I have been at multiple 7 figures for more than 13 years now, while taking 14 to 16 weeks of unplugged vacation a year. And this is what I teach.
well, that's incredible. That's like the dream to be able to do that.
Yeah, actually, it is. And some women don't think it's possible. And then they read the book, many women who are experiencing this. And then there's this glimmer of, oh, wow, I could have that. Yes, you can.
Most people struggle to have that thriving business. So, how do successful business owners make a great impact and never work weekends or evenings?
The first way is to realize that what got you to 6 figures, working really hard, the focusing on just generating money. Once you're at 6 figures, you actually can't do that anymore. You have to actually work much less if you want to grow. When you're working to your first 10K a month consistently, it's marketing and sales, marketing, sales, marketing and sales. You should put a pause button on everything else because you got to generate the money. And then there's this fine line in your business where you actually have to go, whoa, if I'm doing so much of the doing, then I can't grow exponentially. So one of the things that I realize, and I'm fond of saying, is it's actually a lot easier to make $1 million a year than it is to make 50,000 a year or 100,000 or whatever. Yeah, because when you are at $1 million, you've delegated. You've got processes in place. You're not needed to whack-a-mole or put out fires in your business. And you have ideally shifted your business model so you're not doing all of the delivery. You can do the big vision, the big strategy, the big sales, the big relationships, the culture, the innovation. But you've got other people, wonderful people, extensions of your brand delivering your work or a majority of your work for you, which means that you can continue to grow and have all that downtime that we all started our businesses for in the first place that people are not typically enjoying.
How do you apply omnipresent marketing tactics to bring in an unprecedented number of qualified leads?
It's all about your intellectual property and then increasing how prolific you are. I know that sounds obvious, but here's what most people don't realize is that there is an art and a craft to everything that you do for your clients. And most people say, oh, I can't leverage my business model or leverage my marketing. It all depends on me customizing everything for my clients. That's only true up to a point. Every single client benefits from a set of common denominators of how you give them the results. So for example, I've got 8 common denominators in the book: leverage your team, leverage your time, leverage your systems, your business model, differentiation, marketing, accountability, and lifestyle. When you know what your methodology is, when you know what your platform or framework is, when you know what your step-by-step process is, then you can start using that to write a book, to do a podcast, video series, to have an evergreen webinar, to have your YouTube channel, to have a series of special reports, funnels, events, and things like that. And as those things can be automated, so you can have 3 webinars a day happening and you're not even showing up, and it starts to show up. You can have a book, you can have a referral program, you can have your podcast, which lives there forever. And the more you can start thinking in terms of automation and the word evergreen, everything I'm doing now is, how do I set up marketing that lives out there until we take it down? And how do we let my ideal people know that those exist? And my invitation for those of you listening is, let's create things in marketing that can live in perpetuity. This is not about you just showing up at a networking meeting, for example, and there's no trace of that. Everything you must do going forward has a trace. And the idea is to be in surround sound on your ideal clients' lives, where they hear about you from 3 different sources and they start thinking, it's a sign. And it is a sign, but you can manufacture that sign, so that the right person says, you know what, I heard about her through her book. I heard about her on this podcast. I saw that ad on Facebook, and then that LinkedIn person put us together. I'm going to check her out.
Well, I love that. And what you said about sign, it makes me think of a signal, right? And the signal has 2 parts. It has the signal going out and then somebody there to listen to it.
Ah,
So
interesting. Yes.
first.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
But if you can give a feeling of, I'm home, these are my people, however cheesy that sounds, I've seen it. I see it on our groups. People come in and say, oh, hi, I've just joined the program. I'm so happy to meet all of you. This is who I am. This is what I'm from, blah, blah, blah. And then people come in and say, welcome, welcome, welcome. And then somebody says, welcome home. That is like, and they mean it. That person is like, wait, you mean I get all the results and more? Nobody else offers these. And then I have this Insta family, people I've never met. I feel loved. They take care of me. They send me presents. There's daily chats. There is like apéro, as we call it here, once a week, once a month. There's real connection. That person is like, well, nobody else provides this in the marketplace. It doesn't matter what it costs. They're going to refer and they're going to stay. That's how you become untouchable.
What is your best advice? Because a lot of people struggle with self-doubt, right? And it's, I think, one of the biggest barriers to reaching your full potential is yourself and whatever you have going on in your head about yourself, the narrative you're choosing. What's your best advice on fighting self-doubt and becoming infinitely more confident?
There's 3 parts, and this is actually what we teach and what we provide to our women entrepreneurs, and it is massively important, and nobody's talking about this, Lillian. Confidence, it's going to sound not sexy in the beginning, okay? It's going to sound like, what? Just stay with me. I've been doing this for tens of thousands of women. Confidence and self-assuredness comes from having structure for your nature, okay? Doesn't sound sexy, but let me break it down. In isolation, there is self-doubt. If you're listening to this, just write down, isolation breeds self-doubt, especially for women, because we could have a whole nother episode on just the difference between masculine energy and feminine energy in entrepreneurship. But let's stay with this. If you are working at home, or you have your office, remote office space, or you've got whatever. If you are by yourself, there's something called the law of diminishing intent. It states that the day you have an idea, if not acted upon within 2 days, you will talk yourself out of it, right? You know this to be true, especially women. So one of the ways to feel more confident is to surround yourself with other people, not just anybody, not just your accidental community, but get yourself into an intentional community of other entrepreneurial women who are also up to big things, and to say, hey, my super sheroes, my soul sisters, this is what I'm working on, and I'm scared beepless, and I don't think I can do this, but maybe with you, I can do this. Can you hold me accountable? Can you help me overcome the belief systems that I have and the fears that I have, that I can't do it, that they will say, who does she think she is, that I can't follow through because there's so many things I don't finish. Can you hold me accountable? So the first piece was community. An intentional community of other people just like you makes you feel confident. The accountability that you get from other people that say, so how are you with that? And not like nasty accountability, but really loving accountability. Like, I believe in you. I'll call you 5 minutes before you get up on that stage. I know you can do it. And when you've got hundreds of women believing in you and your abilities more than you believe in yourself, there's nothing you can't do. Especially if they've got skin in the game, you've got skin in the game, you do that for them, they do that for you. So that second piece is accountability. The third is the one most people lead with, but it's actually not as important. It's the strategy. But it is still important, because if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know what you're prioritizing, if you don't know what, if you want to do, like if you want to start your own podcast, and you don't know how, you're going to go for 8 months, 8 weeks, 8 days, try to figure it out. And it's just going to be cumbersome. If somebody tells you, this is how to do it, this is what it should look like, these are the resources, you have that strategy, and you finish it more quickly, because that strategy of do this, not that, charge this, not that, keep your clients like this, not that, here's how do you go to 7 figures, don't do that. When you have the strategy, the accountability, and the community that has you finishing what you start, like I said, there's nothing you can't do.
What is some advice that you would give to an entrepreneur or an owner of a small business, or even somebody who's a part of a larger business, to really take themselves and their career to the next level?
I want to read you a quote that I believe in. Most people look at others who've done extraordinary things in their life and say that things like that just happen to certain people, and that they were just lucky. There is no such thing as luck. Successful people decide to be successful. It is a decision first, and then they seek out help. You need to seek out help, get the right training, the right mindset, the right coaching, and then they take the next right step again and again and again. And so what I want to say to you is, whoever you are, but whatever you're trying to attempt in life, first you've got to make the decision to succeed at that thing. Here's how humanity thinks, and here's how the universe really works. And this is where all people get tripped up. People say, well, Olympic champion or 7-figure business owner with 14 weeks of unplugged vacation a year, I don't really know how I'm going to get there. And until I know how, I'm not going to commit. They're waiting for the reassurance. They're waiting to see if it's going to be worth it to even start. The way the universe works, whether you believe in law of attraction, metaphysics, the quantum field, or just success as a whole, is that The universe is waiting for your full body commitment. Full body commitment. I am committed. I have made the decision with a capital D. And then the way that that works is the minute you fully commit, providence moves too. And what that comes from the a Scottish Himalayan expedition quote from William H. Murray. It says that the way that the world actually works is once you commit, all these unseen forces come in and give you the next right step, and then the next right step. And it just takes, Dr. King talked about this. You can't see the whole staircase. You just have to take the next right step. The way to illustrate this is that life is like a scavenger hunt. You don't get all the clues at the same time. You get the first clue. You don't know how you're going to get that prize at the end. You get the first clue and you've committed to going on the journey. And then once you have that, you're going to get your second clue and then your third, etc. So I guess that's a long way to say, are you committed? Have you made the decision to be successful? If not, it's not going to happen. Successful people make the decision, they seek out help, and they do the next right step again and again and again.
Well, I feel inspired. That's great. Oh, I love that. I feel like going off and saying, I made the decision to be successful.
That's how I did. And that's how all my gals in the Leverage Business Program do it. They decide to get to 7 figures. And it's not, thinner thighs in 30 days. You got to put in the work.
I feel like you already landed on a really great note, but is there anything else you want to throw out there that we didn't cover with a question yet?
Simply like to invite people to get the book. If you haven't read The Leveraged Business yet.
Can you show it to us again?
What's that? You want me to show it? Yeah. The Leveraged Business book. You can get it at theleveragedbusinessbook.com. It's available for free. And it's the exact 8-step formula to get out of overwhelm and get to 7 figures with your life back. And I'll be transparent. The reason I give it for free is for the right person. She'll read it. She'll say, this is exactly what I need. And then she'll reach out. And I'm transparent marketing.
That's amazing that you're giving a whole book away for free.
Yeah, it's all in there. It's really what it is. When the right person reads this, she then decides to get to 7 figures, and then she can seek out help and get the next right steps going.
Thank you so much for taking time to speak with me. I'm super jelly that you're in France right now.
It's a really nice place to be.
So it's like late afternoon for you right now over there, right?
Yeah, it's 5 p.m.
What are you going to do next? Like, what do you do in an afternoon in France?
Well, you can go to a cafe and have a rosé. That's always a good idea.
That's perfect. All right, amazing. Well, enjoy that rosé.